Today at the Madlanga Commission, the focus stayed fixed on the chain of events that led to the early exit of former National Director of Public Prosecutions Maxalisi Nkosazana. The Commission heard from a senior official in the Department of Justice who walked the panel through the sequence of meetings, letters and threats that began in late 2014 and ended with Nkosazana signing AR 17.2 million settlement in May 2015. The witness, whose name was protected for now, described how pressure mounted after Nkosazana refused to drop certain high-profile cases. He produced emails and diary notes showing that then Justice Minister Michael Masutha repeatedly raised concerns about Nkosazana's suitability, while at the same time the Hawks were investigating the same matters. The timeline laid out today made clear that the settlement was not a quiet administrative decision, but the endpoint of weeks of back and forth that involved the presidency, the minister's office and the NPA itself. Commissioners pressed the witness on whether the settlement agreement contained any clause that stopped Nkosazana from speaking about the reasons for his departure. The answer was direct. It did. That clause has now become central to the Commission's work because several witnesses have already said they were warned not to discuss the matter publicly. The evidence today also touched on the role of the State Security Agency. The official confirmed that intelligence reports were circulated inside government claiming Nkosazana was a risk to national security. When asked for the source of those reports, the witness said they came from a unit reporting directly to the then Director General. The Commission noted the pattern. Similar reports had surfaced earlier against other officials who crossed the executive. What stood out was the lack of any formal process. No independent inquiry was opened into the allegations against Nkosazana before the settlement was reached. The panel heard that the only record of the decision sits in a single cabinet memorandum that was never tabled in Parliament. One commissioner remarked that the country now has a paper trail for the payout but none for the underlying accusations. The afternoon session turned to the effect on the NPA. A second witness, a former senior prosecutor, told the Commission that morale inside the organization dropped sharply after Nkosazana left. Cases that had been moving forward were stalled or reassigned. The prosecutor described a period of waiting to see who would be next. The Commission asked whether any instruction was ever given in writing to slow down particular matters. The answer was no. But the message was understood without being written down. By the end of the day, the Commission had added several new documents to the record, including internal NPA memos from 2015 that show staff were told to refer all media queries about Nkosazana to the minister's office. The Commission will resume tomorrow with testimony from a former advisor in the presidency who is expected to address the same period. The picture emerging is one of a decision taken at speed, with limited paperwork and maximum political oversight. Whether that amounts to improper interference or simply poor administration is what the Commission must still decide. What today made plain is that the settlement did not close the matter. It simply moved the questions from the NPA to this inquiry.